Hey, howdy, and a big welcome back to Yak City Gaming, everybody, as once more we're going to pick up the Montreal Canadiens Be a GM mode here in NHL 15. So we're going to simulate to the end of the month, where if you were watching last episode, you saw us lose 3-1 to the Boston Bruins in that disappointing 15 minutes we played on the True Broadcast camera. So right now, Max Pacioretty and PK Subban are leading the way in goals and assists, respectively. And our game is against the Philadelphia Flyers. We're not going to be playing a game in this episode. I wanted to do a few other things that have happened in the NHL recently, but I want to do my take on it and see what I can spin and get out of it, and we'll see what goes on. Both things that I do are Habs related. In fact, it's only one thing related to two things that the Habs did. As you see, the Habs are on a bit of a losing streak here as they've lost all 3 games we've simulated so far. 4-2 to Pittsburgh was the last one. And we have a game against St. Louis in which another loss, 4-3. So this is just getting a little bit heartbreaking. You'll see there's a coaching option we need to go do. I think Markov is out of the lineup. Yes, he is. So we're just going to leave everything as it is. I like two-way defensemen paired together, because you know what? One of them will have to be responsible ultimately. So our next game's against the Boston Bruins, and we'll simulate to the end of the month, of course. And our AHL game is done, and we move on. Here's the game against Boston. They are 15-5-1. David Krejci leading the way with 8 goals. Man, if he was doing that on my fantasy team, we would be golden. Andrei Markov is back to come into the lineup, and we get set for another long little streak, hopefully without injuries, as we'll dress Markov. And there we go, place him in the lineup, and scratch Beaulieu. And let's get Markov back in the lineup, shall we? Just a few places he fills. Pretty much every hole that we have on the blue line in any spot is Markov. Of course, he is that offensive gifted genius that plays beside PK Subban in almost every role, except for the way we're doing it. I'm still staying true to the idea that Markov should be on the second line regularly, and Emelin should be up there defensively minded with PK Subban. Both guys like to take risks, Emelin and Subban, but you know what? Emelin is a lot stronger defensively than Markov, and I think that's going to show through in our simulation. Of course, it's not right now, as we're losing our record's 8-11-4, so we're well below 500. Another loss to the Rangers, 3-2 in the shootout. So it's Brendan Gallagher who's on the top line. If you missed a few episodes back when we put him up there, he's leading the way with 7 goals for us, and Subban has those 16 assists. 2 games against Buffalo might be what the doctor ordered. Buffalo's 9-14, pardon me. And a win, 6-5. There we go. That's a huge game. And another win. Come on, let's go. Yes, sirree. 10-11-4. We are almost 500 again. We'll check the stats now, as we are 25 games into the season. So we're more than a quarter of the way there, and it looks like Rene Bourque is really suffering. Only has 1 goal in 25 games. That doesn't really sound unusual to me, actually. Of course, you know what just happened with Bourque being sent down to the minors and whatnot. Gallagher's leading with 18 points. That's not too bad. Markov has 15. Pacioretty has 18. Panik has 13. And PK Subban, of course, leading the way with 23. So Dale Weiss has 8 points. In a simulation I did trying to figure out live streaming, he actually ended up with like 10 goals by the end of December. Guy was on fire in that simulation, but that is not the case in this one, as I had to revert back to where we are now, because the live stream obviously didn't work. None of you caught that, so here we go. We'll check out the AHL to see if there's anyone worth calling up, because right now the lineup's kind of stagnant, as below 500 is not where the Habs want to be. Tim Bozon, of course, he had that freak injury, if I'm not mistaken, and he is 6-6 for 12 points in 20 games, not bad. And we will keep going down. 12-14. No one really standing out. No one's taken away. I should check the record, but I'm not going to, because I don't care that much about the record. Charles Hudon. Yeah, not too bad. 13 or 10 points there. So nobody has more than 15 points, which is kind of a letdown. Wish that would be a little bit better, but hey, it's the farm team. Not going to complain too much. That's not what the simulation's about. As we'll go into GM options, and here we go. It's my turn to take a twist on what we've seen. And yeah, you're going to guess it. I was critical of Bork a few seconds ago. Just got to find where he is right now. I kind of had a momentary lapse when I was recording this and couldn't figure out where he was. So there he is. Alright, if only I can click on him. Yeah, there we go. Let's click on him. He doesn't have much trade value, but we'll see if we can send him away. And ooh, Boston has interest in Bork. Ooh, what can we swing with our rivals? Yeah, Riley Smith in 83, why not? There we go. That looks like a solid trade, but yeah, let's get rid of someone else too, shall we? Possibly another winger? No. Center, left wing. Travis Moan. He was just traded away for Sergei Gonchar. We'll leave that trade option open for later in the GM mode. So we will see who we want to get rid of. And how about Jared Tenorti? 81 overall. Pretty good trade interest for him. He has been on our third defensive pairing, so not where he needs to be. And we'll see who we can swing. Dougie Hamilton looks pretty attractive there, but I'm looking more along the lines of improving in steadiness, so I'm thinking Johnny Boychuk. And that's indeed who we're going to target. And look at that. The Bruins are biggest rivals next to the Leafs, except our trade. So there we go. That kind of reshapes the Canadiens both in secondary scoring and on that second line to play with Markov. So if I can get into it here, we'll go to edit lines. And Riley Smith's over there on the left wing. That's not where we want him to be. And Johnny Boychuk will go play with Andrei Markov. Hopefully both benefit, with one being more defensive than the other and one being more offensive than the other. And Riley Smith, Dale Weiss, Brandon Pruss. There we go. We have a good third line, 82, 83, and 84. So we only have one guy in the 70s on this Montreal Canadiens forward sheet, which is pretty good. So thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Watch the last video. Hey, why not watch a sim fight? So long.